mention first. I really do wanna, I really do wanna get right into it, but
Well, you do see the Pinnacle odds, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to pinnacleodds.com /odds to get yourselves the beautiful odds that you see on screen right now, and as well our partners over at Trustly. Go give them a look as a way to make payments. So you can even do it while going through pinnacleodds.com /odds. But looking at this whole situation, we'll be starting things off with a pistol round. Iceman hitting things first strongly against Duplicate, getting themselves some ground towards that mid side. Already getting quite a lot of control. Default smoke to come through, but other than that, it's a default setup for the 100 pink odds side.
yeah, Suro lining up that smoke does suggest that they're probably going to head up short. And with a flashbang being primed, they'll have to run into Oxygen. Oxygen not really hitting these close-up shots. The Glocks will overpower. And this is where they start to hit the road running. They do have control of short. They've got all 5 players alive. So Skade already playing off of the back foot. Denislaw, he gets an opportunity to start striking some heads, but he's only good for 1. This is perfect for Winter. He's going to be ice cold. Takes away 2, and that should be it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's winter or something, but things are getting quite breezy, freezy, if you will. So Winter holding true to his name and has got ice-cold veins, getting themselves that first victory. 1-0 on the board now for the Kazakhstani squad, as it's their own map pick, and they're starting things off on a good note.
The buy-up comes out from 100 PG, as you'd expect. A scout rifle in the hands of Smiley. The good old Cha-Ching cannon in the hands of Bro. Now, that name does catch me off guard a little bit.
It does, bro. But now, we're seeing a Zeus kill, and I love the sound that it makes when someone dies. You know, it's always that one movie sound cue that you listen to. It just comes out of nowhere. You know, every sort of director tries to bring out that sound cue once in a while when someone is thrown out the window, and you get that sound. You know, it's really interesting to see.
Oh man, that actually reminded me of something. I will get back to it after this round. Denislaw, he's immediately able to buy up the AWP. Smiley's off the server. He just joined it. Quickly presses disconnect, and that should be all she wrote. But Ships, he wants to try to equalize the numbers. Not gonna happen. Well, it does.
Well, it does, at least. At the end of things. Iceman is low in that endeavor, though. Had to get taken down by quite a lot of damage. Now, with the approach, 100 ping odds, again, leaning towards that B side, Rainmaker. He's got his sights on it. He's got a strong role to play in this whole situation. Well, Skade, the rest of his teammates are on that A side of things. All together, collectively, they should be well set up to deal with this endeavor.
Yeah, and they're playing the anti-flash position as well, so it'll be incredibly hard to try to walk through this. Bro trying to look over the smoke. He does have an angle, but are they going to flash and peek? I think Skade are being extra careful about how they play this around. They don't have the flashbang to work with either, so this anti-flash needs to be perfect because the T's, they're starting to move in. Iceman, he wants to go for a dry peek that will catch the anti-flash off guard, but Duplicate, he's around the corner. The spray down is perfect, and he's able to pick up 3. Still alive for more, but I think Sara should be able to seal the deal. Denislaw there with an AWP.
Oh, I love the lineup there from Skade. It was beautiful. They were there expecting it. The anti-flash position, as mentioned before, they did everything that was required. Ladies and gentlemen, Trustly is the place to go when you want to experience disrupted or slow payments. Well, when you don't want to experience that, at least. No cards, no app download, no registration. Just head over to Trustly. And you could even use it for your Pinnacle odds when heading over to Pinnacle and betting against each team. But make sure you stay safe, and of course there are conditions that may apply. Denislaw making things work. Headshot does connect onto Smiley, and that means that they open things up with a bang, heading towards that A long side, while also having players snuck into lower tunnels. Winter looking to cause some damage.
Yeah, Denislaw's been so good on that AWP, getting the early frag with Sorrow. He's gotten the numbers a bit closer. Oxygen playing the unorthodox angle makes it a lot harder for them to equalize Ships. Puts Winter in the grave. That just leaves a man with the scout rifle. The man with the name that is more fitting for a Snapchat account. A Desert Eagle in his hands. I think he just wants to do as much damage as possible on the way out. But for the most part, Skade have been able to bring it back immediately. And Denislaw is such a contributor on that AWP. For both rounds that he's had it, he went for the early aggression. He went for the peek down middle, and he was able to secure it both times. So having that kind of impact player on your team, that can make it a lot easier for you to navigate through the rest of the game. And 100PG, you can already tell that they're feeling the pressure trying to battle anything out on mid. You'll always have that worry in the back of your head that perhaps Denislaw is peeking right around the corner. Maybe he's got that big green goblin staring at you.
Or if you're me in Counter-Strike in MM, then you're just going to not peek any other corner and just walk in and die.
Well, the good old... I mean, it's called suicide for a reason when you try to rush down it.
Oh, yeah. And I've done it multiple times. I never learn from my mistakes. That's actually very surprising.
Oh yeah, Ships, he's happy to take away the life of bro, but I'm a bit surprised he actually goes for that because I would anticipate him to wait out for the timer because it was so close. Regardless, scoreline, now it's been tied up, and 100PG, they're starting to fall back a little bit. Not too much money to go around with them, $2,000 average. And without even a flashbang, this should mostly be a mowdown. It's just Smiley on the Desert Eagle because he did have a little bit more money to work with. Tries to do the forbidden peek down middle with a Deagle against an AWP. Doesn't really need to do too much though because his teammates are being wiped off the server.
Yeah, Ships, he did a good job there. Although he has to fall in the end, that could be an MP9 to be picked up from the T side of 100 Ping Gods. But I think Smiley will get challenged all the way. Skade starting to feel a little bit comfortable. Smiley does get taken out by Denislaw from that distance. 9 out of 10 times that AWP will win, will come out victorious, and it's the Bulgarians now to come up on top. 3-2 on the scoreline. I'm not really surprised that the Pinnacle odds are in favor of Skade. 1.5 to 2.4, well, 1.6 really. But it's not by a great margin, are they?
Yeah, it's... the fact is that Skade, on paper, they're still the better team. 100PG, if they win this would have to be an underdog victory. And the fact that they've been doing incredibly well against other teams, of course, it does help their case a little bit more. You know, you could say that the rankings haven't really had a time to shift too much and reflect what they're capable of, but hold on. Watch this. Denislaw, he goes for a ballsy peek with a boost, and Bro will be taken out of the server. Now, 4 players remaining on the terrorist side. What kind of adjustment do they go for? Iceman, he wants to get his hands dirty as he's immediately going to start walking down middle, but now he'll be greeted by Denislaw.
Well, they do backtrack from it. In the meantime, though... Oh, no, they're closing in. Iceman switched his things up completely. Press that reverse button. Don't know where it exists on his keyboard, but... well, there you go. Jaws in. Skirt out of mid. Now, okay... mid now taken over from 100 Ping Gods. May look like they want to ease up towards it. Maybe the B side to be expected. Skade, they're polarized across the map, which does give some room for the Kazakhstani squad to move across. And it's up to them to make the decision. I think they may have elected this catwalk side.
Now, Skade aren't particularly set up for this because Ships is so far around the corner that he won't be able to help Duplicate just in time if they push right on through. Duplicate tries to respond with a Molotov, but Iceman has come around. He's peeking in from CT, and that just leaves Oxygen, or rather Ships, who wants to desperately try to hold on to this bomb site, playing for the wider angle. Winter wants to spot ahead, and he does, leaving 2 players now on the CT side for the retake.
Now a 2v3 may be a difficult endeavor, and especially when Oxygen falls. No pick going their way. It's not going to really fall into place for the Bulgarian side. Skade can have to back out of it. Rainwaker, eager to save that beautiful M4. But I think they may be on close pursuit.
Yeah, even saving this M4 might be a fickle affair because Sorrow, he's playing from tunnels. Maybe a second player is about to join him soon, so not really sure about his chances here, but Sorrow's solo 1 HP that he should be easily double tapped with the M4. I think I spoke too soon because Rainwaker, goodbye.
No, that was clean from Sorrow. Just insta swing out headshot. Beautifully done. And that's even the equalizer. As soon as 100 Ping Gods get themselves a buy on the board, things just are brought to equilibrium.
That does give them a little bit of leeway. start playing things off. Stanislaw, I like how he's approaching it differently this time around. He's not directly peeking down middle. Instead, he's just watching one of the corners to make sure if somebody tries to aggress. Oh, this is perfect. Stanislaw, he knows that the missed shot is an opportunity that he can capitalize on. He's also waiting for the players to walk out of lower tunnels. The flashbang is perfect, but Stanislaw, he gets a chance to back off. Some borrowed time to work with, but he barely spots a foot, and that should be all she wrote.
It is indeed 4 versus 4 already. It is a 1-for-1 trade, but in the process, I think 100 Ping God's gained a lot more out of it rather than Skade. That's mid control now being given over to the T's, and they make this map as they please. They can roam through it as if it's their own hometown. That's an off-angle holding there from Oxygen as well. You slowly will realize that Skade may be eager to push through tunnels and miss Molotov as well in the meantime. That's not really great. But they may want to aggress through it to get that extra information. In the time being, though, Oxygen in that corner, he's holding off this onslaught. And it might be a vital position for him to keep on holding.
Oh, I think Winter realizes now he might have spotted the barrel, and they're going to peek right out. Winter with a no-scope. He's already starting things off with style and duplicate. He's not getting any style points for that death because Winter's added another to the tally. Ships and Rainwaker now desperate for that retake, but they want to back off. They've got an AWP and an M4. That's something they can carry on over to the next round.
It is indeed. And it will have to be at this point. 100 Ping Gods. Not too bad, not too shabby. Getting the bomb down as well. And they can just hold down their ground. Have a cup of coffee, because I think they've got some time in the bag to spare. Skade isn't going anywhere. They're just hiding out in the B side in Rainwaker. Well, hopefully this time for him, he'll be saving that M4 rather than having someone coming right after him.
You mentioned having a fair bit of time, and that's one of the dynamics I like about Dust 2. Although it gives you time to save, the fact that you can peek through, hold that thought. I think Rainwaker might just be getting a bit of a present, and he will take it. 2 quick kills for him. Don't really mean too much, but that's a couple guns out of the hands of the T's, and they're happy about it.
Well, you hear it, you can see it on your screens. Online banking payments is the bomb. Pay with Trustly. You can even try making payments with Trustly at pinnacle.com/odds, where you'll find the latest in playing offers with Skade versus 100 Ping Gods here. And always remember that the sport should be fun, so only play what you can afford. So keep yourself teamed, and, well, full terms and conditions do apply.
Keep in mind as well that Pinnacle right now, they're running a promotion where if you bet 10 euros, you can get 10 euros back. You know, you can double up your bets. But it only applies if you're a new customer and if you sign up using code CUP21. So do check that out. But yeah, the thing I was talking about earlier, X-Warrior, is that because you can peek through the B doors, you can see which direction somebody's saving in if they go to B. You can also do the same thing on mid. So a lot of information makes saving harder, and it becomes more difficult to get through without a scratch. And when I talk about that, Rainwaker, he's going to be receiving a scratch and a half. Stanislaw, he's got a lot to deal with.
He does, but it's all over. There's nothing else he could do. He's out of the server. Completely annihilated, destroyed. 4 versus 5 into it right now, and 100 Ping Gods have the upper hand. It's the B bomb site as well to make things matters worse for Skade. I think 100 Ping Gods have found their pace.
You can see why they picked Dust 2. They do feel quite comfortable with it, and unless Stanislaw is able to get that early frag, I think Skade are heavily struggling.
Winter, well, he's going to try and hold his line here. And I think it'll be easy pickings as well. The AWP off their hands. It's all up to Rainwake again. Oh, this man, he's very used to saving by now.
Yeah, it seems like he's always holding on to that M4.
But the odds getting ever closer in this series, right? From one moment to the next, you would have expected that it would still be in Simper Endeavor, but we're still seeing them switch a bit. Skade still slightly favored in the whole grand scheme of things, but no, the fact that 100 Ping Gods have stapled themselves ahead here is a really important prospect for them in this series as a whole.
Dennis Law, this time around, his shenanigans aren't on mid. Instead, he gets a couple quick frags on long. And Hunter PG, now suddenly they're feeling the pressure. Rainwaker, he almost gets caught with his pants down, switches over to the M4, but no capitalization comes in from Smiley. Ships, quick frag on mid, smoke goes out. Smiley doesn't get a chance to refrag at all. Wants to peek over the smoke, but he's been spotted out by Ships. Quick frag.
Clever movement from Smiley. Getting himself onto that ledge there, spotting over, looking over his opponent. And the smoke could not hide away his head. It's just too big. Rainmaker, he looks to be challenged right now. But the good thing for Skade is that they've got 2 players already onto this area. 100 ping gods, you need to make this work or otherwise you'll be in big trouble. It's a crossfire setup now from the Skade side, and they will be slowly closing that gap.
All across the board, that round was incredibly clean from Skade, and that's due in part because Denislaw had such a strong presence on mid. They didn't anticipate the AWP to be overcommitted over towards the long side. But now, they've got 2 AWPs, Ships. He'll be holding on to that as well. I say that, but you know what? The caster's curse can be a bit too strong at times. Taking that off out of the server. Sorrow, he doesn't get to contribute either. It's Oxygen to take away his head.
You know what, World Eddie? There's a reason why every single time there's an ALBP player peeking out through mid from spawn. There's always that one play. It always happens on Dust 2, right? It barely ever works, but when it does, it affects the round massively. Iceman looking to push through, double that up, and 100 ping gods. They haven't dropped a single play in their endeavor. Scratch that, they haven't taken any damage. Apart from Winter, getting a kill onto Duplicate there does scathe away with 13 points of health, but it's Rainwaker left all by himself again. He's getting too familiar with the situation.
It's very surprising that Sorrow's Lost Duel is the only one that they actually end up dropping. Other than that, all across the boards, it's frags left and right. Hunter PG, they're inching closer and closer to that halftime victory. And you see this way too often from Skade. You know, having a player left alone on a bomb site. And there are 2 components to this. If you have an extra passive player who's always committed to a bomb site and they can't contribute to duels, that can be good for flanks. That can often prevent some kind of bomb site, some kind of last-minute fake, last-minute bomb site push. But at the same time, then you have fewer numbers on the rotation. You won't have as many people helping you out. So, double-edged sword, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Have you got those wing flaps on your monitor, like 100 ping gods seem to have?
No, man. My gameplay has already flown out of the window. I don't need any assistance.
Seems like I don't know if they really help with focus, to be honest. But you know what I like to see? Ships on that Max 7. And once you get a kill, you darn well know that it's going to turn into a Swag 7. Alon control given over. Smiley has to leave his life behind as Denethor is able to run right past him with that AWP shot across the map. Winter trying to capitalize on that again, but I don't think he'll be given that opportunity. Denislaw now on that A-long side, looking to see if they will peek through. But 100 ping gods, they're making sure they buy time here. They want to see if they can get a pick before they push on through, because having the full stack of 4 or 5 players remaining on the Skade side is a difficult situation to deal with.
I like how they're trying to bait out Denislaw into overcommitting with the peak, and he does! Winter, he's got in the entry frag now, 4-on-4. They can always opt to move straight onto the A bomb site, and I think they will because they've already landed a smoke. If they do go there, they might need an additional smoke because Duplicate can still spot through, but the AWP for the hard clear is still available, so that is a prospect that they can still work with Duplicate. He's going to have a lot on his plate.
I love the idea of delaying the smoke, but when you miss the second one, that's a different situation. Duplicate able to capitalize on it, and that's going to be a free kill. HG going to throw it over to Iceman and Skade. They've got control over this now. Sorrow, do they know where he is? Oxygen has got an idea of that location, and he is able to grab out a headshot, pushing on forwards. The smokes will dissipate. Duplicate able to grab out one more, but Winter is all that remains. But you know what? It's only his remains, because now he is dead, and it is Skade to get themselves another round on the board.
That round might have slipped out of their hands based off of one botched smoke. And you can see the odds shifting back in the favor of Skade as the numbers start to turn up, as the smokes start to slip out of hands. There is something I wanted to mention. I love how Skade and 100PG, they're not just playing Counter-Strike, they're also having this little battle down mid constantly. Denislaw, he's opened the round up by taking Iceman out of the equation. Now, left disbalanced, 100PG want to desperately try to get the numbers back as they move up short. Yeah, man, the little communication they're having down mid, just this little back and forth, constantly having the nads to go for this. I'm a bit surprised that both teams are opting for it, but you know what? Either side has found success. Denislaw, of course, he might be a little bit more favored, but we've seen a couple kills come out from the T side as well and a fair bit of damage, so you can see why they're going for this.
Definitely can, but slowly. They're still considering this catwalk side, but it may be more of a bait. Sorrow here, he's got prime control over mid, and he can catch any rotations off guard. You can see the reincorporation with him as well. Duplicate. He's heard the scope, and that audio has been given away. And you can see Skade turning their attention towards it from the B site as well. But the fact that Bro is also challenging from that location, it's going to be a difficult endeavor. They don't check it. They don't even smoke it. So, just an easy pick there from Duplicate, a big throw. It was a risky play, and it doesn't work out in their favor. Smiley, able to grab one, but they may want to change their location. The A-long side was already challenged, and Denislaw, he's an unchallenged cookie. Smiley will eventually be able to kill him off, but I think the damage has already been done. The A site is what they're going for, and Oxygen is all by himself.
Yeah, but can he hold down the line? He does find the first frag, and it's one tap to end the second. Smiley, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
I mean, it would hurt, especially considering that you've already taken out most of the A-long players, and there's one player that you can't really account for. I think 100 Ping Gods, at least playing from a deficit, played that really well and knowing how to read around the map. But the fact that Oxygen just was able to swing past them and get 2 kills like that, there was nothing that 100 Ping Gods could really do about it.
Absolutely. Now, they're actually trying to bait out Denislaw over on mid. They're toying with him a little bit. You know that this is their moment. They've got a couple P2. They've got a P250 and a Deagle in the back pocket, so you can see why they're going for this. This little game of whack-a-mole, though, it might just come to a closer because Bro was anticipating a flashbang from a teammate. Denislaw takes quite a bit of damage, but now I think it's been communicated. They want to back off. Ships. He doesn't fare too well in the midst of the battle, and instead will have his head ripped apart by a Desert Eagle. That .50 cal. Not the best of friends.
Yeah, and I think they won't be creating too much friendly endeavors throughout the rest of this round, at least. I'd love to see that Iceman Deagle work out further. 1 kill already in the bag. Transferring, getting another 2. Maybe 1 even. That's an AK-47, actually. Unfound confidence. Incendiary to block his path. There's a "you shall not pass" situation. But other than that, Skade, they've got a blockade going on across the map. Every single area pretty much tested out. And now approach from short. They're going to go for a small approach. They're going to go for a quick one as well. Denislaw getting one as a couple do trickle forwards, crossing against the smoke, but Oxygen will be able to deal with a final player. Skade, just like that, close out the round.
It's quite surprising that Skade aren't a lot farther ahead, considering how competent their AWP player has been. Denislaw, even with a close scoreline like 7-6, he's going 17-8. So with a KDR higher than 2, when your op is performing so well on the CT side, I would be expecting a better scoreline. Especially considering that Bro has basically not been part of the equation. I believe he's still on 0 kills. So 100 PG. They've done a pretty good job at keeping it in check, all things considered. You know, Denislaw popping off, a player being out of commission. But I think they do have the chance to sweeten the deal a little bit more as they line up towards B.
I think this is one of the first times we see them all together going for a contact play throughout it. Not really scared about the smokes. Made within the corners Every angle trying to push on through. Flash will participate them into the push, but Rainmaker, this position has gone unchecked. Doesn't wait for the trigger discipline. Continue to spray down with that mouse one trigger, and all of a sudden, 100 ping gold's in a really difficult position. Recuperating now together. Lovely flash from Rainmaker, but it shits the behind the headshot, and all of a sudden, 100 ping gold's, there's not much they can do about it. Smiley turning 180 degrees, but it's not going to be good enough. Skade, 8 and 6, solidifying they'll be ahead at halftime.
What a good flashbang there at the end. I know you mentioned it, but the presence of mind from Ships to know that a teammate's flash is coming, the communication being flawless, that even in the midst of a spray down, he stops, looks away, waits for them to get flashed, and there's just so much trust between these teammates, and I hope we can catch that on the replay, but regardless, what a spray down by Rainmaker. Did quite a bit of damage, and that might have just secured it. You see that right there, Ships? Ooh. He looks away for just a second to avoid that flashbang. He stops in the middle of his spray, and he makes it work. Now, Skade, they're sending Ships up on mid-duty to perhaps pick up an early frag.
Ships holding things down on mid. He'll soon be challenged though, and he doesn't really have that enforcement if it does come to that aggression. I think the aggression is unfounded, as 100 ping gods really don't have too much to pay with it. Flash only to allow them to cross forwards, not really going to within Ships' line of crossfire at least.
Line of fire, yes.
Line of fire, there you go. Dennis Law again, similar situation. Double upset it from Skade, and it's a good 1.5 here on Dust 2. With a train out of the equation, it's definitely the AWP map at play.
Oh, there are 3 horsemen coming his way. Oxygen, he's not even good for 1 here, but he gets TK'd. So 1-for-1 trades somehow in the midst of things. Dennis Law comes around the corner. His AWP is perfect, and Duplicate will be adding 1 more to the tally. That round, just like that, with such pace, with such speed, should be over very soon. I love how they're still being that careful, but it is the last round. They wanted to make sure that they cash in all their chips, and they're going to end it with a scoreline of 9-6.
Man, it feels like smooth sailing from Skade for the past couple of rounds, and it is reflected among the odds of the Pinnacle Cup. You can head over to pinnacle.com/odds to check them out. But yeah, no, they've shown promise. Now being ahead 9-6, it's a really good scoreline for them to be in.
Yeah, if we're on the subject of smooth sailing, if you want your payments to be smooth sailing and what you want speed to be the name of the games, don't let your playing experience be disrupted by slow payments. And go ahead and choose Trustly, and you can even make a payment on Pinnacle with that. So do go ahead and check them out. Terms and conditions apply.
Smoke out first as the pistol round will coming away here from the Skade side. Winter, he's got a strong job to do. He's all by himself, but quickly on the trigger there towards the tunnels. Iceman there to help out. Both icy players already getting themselves some headshots, and Skade, there's nothing much they can do about it. Trying from a distance, scrambling to find a kill, but it's not permitted. Every single player from the 100 ping God side are on site, and they're able to deal with this scenario.
That was a pretty quick mowdown, all things considered. The pistols just somehow reign supreme. And I believe it was 100 PG on the first pistol round as well that ended up taking it. So this is a good sign for them. Unfortunately, the conversion wasn't amazing. It's not like they got 3 rounds off of it, and I'd be surprised if they can do that in this side of things either. Dennis Law once again on that trusty scoped rifle, although it will be lacking a bit of punch to it because it is the cheaper version. Iceman wants to maybe intercept this push down middle, but for the most part it should be a throwaway round. Unless Skade can maybe get work around that scout rifle from Dennis Law, but they only have 1 deagle, so to have some kind of 1-2 punch going on, I think they're going to need a lot more pistols. Ex-Warrior, it's a bit surprising to me when teams have this half commitment on the scout rifle, because it's very unlikely that you'll capitalize off of it unless you have additional deagles or P250s to supplement it. So, not sure what the thought process is behind it, but let's see if this can work out for them. The run boost now being prepped. 2 players on the A bomb site. A third can always rotate.
Run boost does commence though. Sorry, able to grab out the first headshot through the air. The bomb has been dropped. That is brutal. Oh dear. And they do see that situation fall across the horizon. Oh no. Well, that's the morale drop that round, and they shortly fall as well. 100 ping gods, they managed to get that clean round underway.
It's such a treat to see that 100 PG, even with a player not being able to have much of an impact, they're still making it work. The scoreline is incredibly close. But that's something that's a bit worrying for Skade as well. If you're playing against a team that right now is basically playing 4v5, with the exception of course, utility, you're not seeing much firepower come out of him. At any time, if he suddenly activates, you know it's over. But it's got to happen before that 16. Now, Skade, they're looking a bit unsure about what they're going to do because they had a flashbang primed and then they choose to opt out of it. 100 PG, they have a fair bit of utility to hold back anything. Sorrow having a Molotov and smokes across the board with the exception of Bro.
With a fairly aggressive position there from Winter. I believe he did hear a footstep coming through from the upper tunnels to lower. Which does give them information that something is being played around that scene. And without mid-dedication, gods really can't figure out this situation, knowing that they've now translated it towards the catwalk side. Bro lining up a flash, but from the other side of the map, it may not be good enough. HG grenade taking a lot of chunk out of ships as they do move on forwards. Look for the gap through the smoke, not going to be founded though. Other than that, 100 ping gods, they've left the two players towards the B side. The rotations may not be quick enough. Skade looking to go for this any second now, and with the smoke coming through, they're going to start pushing in. Flashes as well, coming into the A site. Bro lines up the flash. Oxygen does kill them, though, in the process. He was so focused on that flash that he didn't have the time to pull out his rifle. Oxygen, second kill going his way, and that's going to be the bomb being planted. Spray down through the smoke, but I think the deed has been done. It's the A site taken over by the Bulgarians.
Skade, as soon as they've got their hands on those AKs, they've made it work, and under PG now they're starting to feel some of the impact that is being lost on their side. They want to hold on to these weapons. M4 and a couple of houses, they can go a long way. So you can see the thought process behind it. Skade, they're not too happy about going for anything either. They don't want to try to hunt because that does risk them losing their own weapons, and it's not like they have a lot of bank built up. This is their opportunity. Start stuffing the cash register with some money. In the meantime, why don't we quickly look over at the Pinnacle odds? Skade now looking a lot more heavily favored. I think these are the worst odds we've seen for 100 PG so far.
Yeah, maybe, because I think Skade being ahead on their opponents' map pick is something that they need to fear, especially seeing that they've got more experience when it comes to Ancient as well. So maybe a 2-0 would be on the line, which is where I sort of value these odds.
Ancient, it's going to be a task and a half for them to get through. But
Dustin's
still not over yet.
Oh, Winter, 2 kills going his way. Smoke out as well. Bomb drop, that's the information they need. And the smoke is deep. They can cover it. Sorrow sticks around though. That's a smart play because Ships moves out, buttocks first, and Sorrow's able to spot it. Spray down. Rainwaker does chuck down Winter to 11 points of health, but 100 ping gods able to recuperated smoke to allow them to get the bomb down. Rainwaker does spray down. Bro, he's out. Where 2v4 still is difficult endeavor, and the bomb hasn't been collected. What do?
Yeah, they know exactly what's going on. 2 players now watching that bomb like hawks. And there should be the pincer as well from Skade because they have a third player moving in with the M4 coming up catwalk. Rainwaker, he's having such a hard time trying to navigate around this. And Smiley, because he's got that AWP, he can always look around the box, get that free frag, and that should be all she wrote. Dennis Law now, I think he's done for.
He's only got 1 smoke left, and he might as well give it a go, you know? The good thing about Skade is that they've got money to buy up next round with, so I guess they don't really mind in that endeavor. But I love how quickly 100 ping gods reacted to seeing the bomb there.
Just that immediate pincer. But in the meantime, maybe you should go ahead and check out Trustly, which can make sure that your playing experience is not disrupted by anything such as slow payments. So to make your payments flow quickly, You can go ahead and check them out. No cards, no app download, and no registration. And even if you're checking out Pinnacle at pinnacle.com/odds, you can make a deposit there using Trustly. So you know what? Two birds, one stone. Why don't you check that out?
Yeah, you might even want to head over to Pinnacle because they've got a €10 deposit when you get, well, when you bet €10, you also get €10 in return, which is a really cool thing. So you might have, might as well take advantage of that in the process, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very cool promotion, but make sure that you only bet what you can afford and be safe about it. Terms and conditions apply. And Iceman will be applying a lot of pressure over at mid, but scratch that flaw because Smiley, he's immediately responded, and Skade, they're down a man before it started.
Well, now Skade may be wondering, what on earth did we do? That's our backline completely destroyed, quashed. Dennis Law out of it. Smiley's got a big D to deal with. Quickly pushing through Oxygen now, needs to move onwards. Molly not quite getting into that corner. Smiley throws down the smoke quickly to allow him to trickle out. Instead, holds his ground. The Skade, they're repositioned. They need that pick desperately though, and they do go in straight forwards. They don't hold back at all. Sorrow gets think, but he doesn't even care. Through the box, he's still got plenty of health remaining. All of it, actually. Molly, between themselves, they do not care. Pushing forwards as well. Bro, making it happen, but Ships and Rainmaker, they've been rejuvenated. In that process though, Ships is all by himself, and he's got to deal with 3 players. The bomb isn't even next to him.
Oh, that smoke fading, that makes it so much harder. Iceman, he's given up his position, but Ships, what can he even do at this point? It's just a sandwich, and that should be it. Smiley picks him away and ends around the way he started it with an AWP kill.
And that's the equalizer as well for 100 ping gods. Skade, you can see they're under pressure. They've got full-on focus mode right now. They know that they can't hold back. They know they've been in a slump, and they know they need to breach their opponents.
Yeah, lots of flush faces, biting lips, etc. right now. It's a lot of nerves on them. And 100 PG, they're going to apply the pressure even more. Pushing up mid. 1 kill apiece for Sorrow, Iceman, and Smiley. Mostly a cleanup, but that's a free Desert Eagle for Iceman. He's going to put that $700 in his pocket and feel very happy about it. Yep, there's another freebie coming his way. Winter just adds 1 more to the tally.
It's all about HLTV stats, right? And again, I mean, 100 ping gods, they sort of share that endeavor. But we were talking about earlier that things favored Skade quite substantially, but I think it's sort of changed now. Things are very neck and neck. 1.8 to 1.9. It's anyone's game, this series, honestly. And Skade, they're not out of Dust 2 yet, which is the surprising part.
Apologies for some of the background noise. Ducks can be very feisty at times. I'm sure you heard that, X-Warrior.
Yeah, no, the duck has gone on a rampage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar to how 100 PG have once they've switched sides. Now they're looking a lot better. Skade, they're feeling very contested. But this is a very different pace of round from what we've grown accustomed to. They're going to be playing it a lot slower. And be actually taking the bomb all the way over to the B bomb site. A smoke going out short. They want to make sure that they can keep as many of the 100 PG players on their side as possible while the real mess starts cooking up on B.
I've got all the players set up here, but it's all the distraction towards the catwalk side. Sorry, we'll spot Oxygen's buttocks. Oh, falls back towards the site. The timing isn't that great, but it's good enough. Headshot connected. Smiley has to deal with them onto the B-bomb site. They've got plenty of players here, so there shouldn't be too much of a trouble. Smoke to keep them at bay. Looking to reposition. Ships wins out on a trade towards catwalk, which is why they try and move against it. But maybe they turn their attention towards mid. Smiley, he's waiting for it. Spray down coming through, but no. He wanted to cross the wall scaffolding. He wanted to move against that wall, but it doesn't work out in his favor. Winter, already under rotation, gets himself the backstab. Same for Iceman as well. They've been completely slaughtered down to the ground. Skade, unexpected of all these rotations, and it's 100 ping god to show their prowess.
I love the adjustment there to catch the back of the bomb carrier like that. Amazing stuff. Just that bomb being dropped suddenly switches up everything for 100PG. All of a sudden, the resources have to be redistributed to account for the fact that now the bomb is no longer in their control, and they get caught off guard by that. 100PG showing us exactly why Just Do might have been their map pick. Once they're on that CT side, they look a lot more comfortable. Ships is the only man on the T side squad right now with an AK-47, and everybody else, they're sticking to Deagles. Can they land a punch or two in this instance? We're going to have to find out, because although Deagles can be very powerful, although those second round buys have historically been incredibly good nowadays, unfortunately we haven't seen too many of them in this game. We haven't really been greeted by any upsets as far as rounds go in this series so far.
Usually it's been staple rounds throughout it. Ships, though, the only player with the AK-47, making it work. And doesn't take any damage throughout the process either. I think 100 Pink Oils may have the idea. They've given away the A long side. Skade have snuck themselves into a few corners in that area. Looks like 100 Pink Oils may look to challenge Molly out. They're going to take the wide angle, looking to peek through. It's the Deagles to actually work out in their favor. Shoro trying to hold his line, but he's basically one Deagle shot away. And in a matter of seconds, Skade pull this round in their favor.
How is it possible? I just said that we haven't found too much success here. But, yeah. I feel like these words have too much power.
Oh, they do. It's the caster's curse, I'm telling you. Or maybe the caster's blessing if you're a Bulgarian or a Skade fan, or even just a Skade player.
Yeah, perhaps. But I want to see if 100PG, they switch up their pace. Denislaw, he peeks around the smoke that they've landed for themselves.
Ooh.
Almost had an angle there, didn't he?
It seemed like 100 Pink Gods knew that their smoke was slightly deep. And for that reason, they held back, expecting that a peek would commence from Skade, and they flash it for them to, as well, in time, try and get the cross on him. Didn't quite work out, as eventually Denislaw did back out of it, but I like the idea of it. Bait him in that position, know exactly where he'd hold it out and try and pre-fire it, but no, Denislaw was quick on his feet to move out from that angle.
Yeah, but the flashbang also has now communicated the information that somebody might have crossed over, and that's not good if somebody has actually crossed over, so with them backing off, they will probably be checking the angle twice anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. But now Skade, they're prepping to go up catwalk. 100PG have to hold off against this with just one player on their side.
You'd expect the default smokes to come underway, and they do. Iceman has to move back from it. No, he actually moves up towards Sandbags. Will aggress forwards as well, looking to catch Rainmaker off guard, but no, unsuccessful in that endeavor. Bro recuperates onto the ramp side. Skade taking their time to push forwards, inching little by little, but the flash is grand. Iceman and Sorrow, they recuperate together. Lovely stuff, and 100 Pink Gods. The moment you thought that the onslaught was impending, they managed to turn things in their favor. Duplicate, Denislaw, they're all chiming in with kills. Denislaw barely surviving, but he's able to grab out another. Long distance from Smiley, but he doesn't grab out that kill. That is brutal, and he will pay for it. Skade, they equalize.
Denislaw and Duplicate, they wreaked havoc on 100PG, and now you can see that being reflected in their economy somewhat as well, because there are 3 players that shouldn't be able to buy up entirely. I actually do want to look at the replay of that, because that was very chaotic. Look at that. Denislaw weaving in and out of battle just like that. And I think that missed shot by Smiley might have just been the reason that 100PG can't come back from it. Denislaw once again wanted to peek over the Molotov. Doesn't quite catch the shot, grazes the shoulder maybe, but that's just a hair shaved off of the body of the opposing player. No damage being received. 100PG, they want a fair bit of info. They're sending a player up tunnels, and look at that. Skade, they are anticipating it. They've got a player waiting. The AWP soon will be joining it as well, but I don't think Rainwaker really favors this duel here. That's a free AK if he ends up falling.
Maybe indeed, Rainwaker.
Uh-oh.
Just to make it work. Winter, ooh, you were talking about a free AK, and there it is. Bingo. You'll soon see a player move forwards to that location, maybe to take it. I assume Sorrow will be that man. But I think Bro, he's in a more difficult situation. Duplicate, not really being challenged too much. He's able to put a bullet right through his eyes. And Sorrow with just a mere P250. We'll have to deal with a full stack of AK-47s and AWP to back things up as well. Denislaw making quick work of it, but I think the A site has already been taken over. Winter looking to do some extra damage. Same could be said about Iceman. No way we see 2 Deagle upsets in a row. This would be insane. I think Iceman is still being a nuisance. The bombers are only just gone down and they know exactly where the positions are. Denislaw gives them some breathing space until Winter recuperates, but I think the deed is over. Winter, without a molly damage, has to backtrack and save that AWP.
I think he had the idea to push through the Molotov, but he accidentally bumped into the cubby. And then he knows that there's no way he gets away from that unscathed. Wonderful stuff. Skades, time and time again, they're able to come out on top. A very back and forth game, and Pavlos, you think we're going to be starting it off with an overtime?
I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm seeing resurgence in confidence coming through from the Skade side. Obviously, 100 ping gods, they're not backing away from this whatsoever. They know that this is their own map. So, an overtime, yeah, it could be in the cards.
Yeah.
But I still feel that Skade may be able to win out.
The problem over here is that it's a slippery slope for 100 PG because they're the ones that need to watch out for their economy. And if they end up losing another round, you know that it's starting to trickle on over to that GG mark. Ships, not an amazing flashbang now, is it? But you know what? He's got a second one to back it up, so that's just $200 being lost. I don't think that should affect the round too much, but some utility damage will mean that 2 of the players on either side, they're a lot easier to kill, but Skade, they want to move up B.
Iceman needs to be careful here. Denislaw has got his sights on him, but no! Maybe he needs to be careful. Uno reverse card drawn out. Winter throws down the smoke to delay the push. And I think it may have 100 ping gods they've dealt with this Rainwaker, making that molly work actually. Ships on the rotation. Juni's able to deliver. Smiley looking to regain control of this angle, and he may be able to do so. Scopes in. It's a quick shot to come underway. Bro in the process has found the backstab. And Skade, they're in trouble. Already there's a recuperation towards the B site. They need to make a decision, but they've at least got 1 minute remaining.
Are they really going to go all the way around? The audio cue must be given up to Bro if they come up too close, and he should be expecting it, but so should they, because they know that there was a backstab there. How long are they going to anticipate this? Haven't really held the shift key down just yet, and Bro, now anticipating it, comes around the corner, but Rainwaker will pre-fire it. What a way to do it, and now they're back in the driving seat, heading on over to Long. They've got a flashbang to work with as well. Smiley comes around the corner. He's been traded out. 25 seconds. Duplicate, you need to pull your gun out, buddy. Tries to go around with the knife. He's got the AK, and he lands the shot. Winter will be put in the grave, and Skade somehow turned up ahead from a 2vx situation.
Man, they shouldn't have won that. Skade, they were pincered in essentially, but they were able to scramble their way out. Duplicate, he even peeked out with a knife, but he was able to strafe away into safety and relocate with the AK-47. Oh, that shouldn't have worked out. And I think that may give them the space to close out this map. Denislaw connects with another shot into mid. Winter out of the equation. He's done so. HE is blown out to the wall with the B site. Duplicate chimes in with that AK. Looking to make movement towards Catwalk. But oh no! They've gotten the B site already. Duplicate will be challenged, but I think it's already over. They've taken this B site. They've got 4 players remaining. Although a couple of rifles may be given over to 100 ping gods, I don't think it will be good enough. Skade, they're on the verge of getting themselves to that 15th mark.
Man, 100 PG didn't even have a chance to cross down middle. Everybody just intercepted. It's as if they've taken a page out of the playbook of the Counter-Strike counterpart and put a massive ice wall down mid. No chances at all. And Skade, they've put themselves far ahead. With so little money across the board for 100 PG, they still might have a couple punches in them, but oh, this is tricky, Pavlos. I'm not sure what 100 PG need to do from here because that looked way too convincing.
It did. Although the start looked shaky, the peaked onto the tunnel side, which was the reason why Skade sort of may have had a chance. I'm talking about a couple of rounds ago, and obviously the Pinnacle Cup odds will clearly favourite Skade in this endeavour, being ahead in their opponents' map pick. On map point as well. It's not 100% clean from Skade, but it's good enough to get them this win. but a buy round from 100 Pink God still has a chance to keep them in the game.
Yeah, Denislaw, once again, he is anticipating it. Iceman doesn't get a chance to cross down middle, and that's been one of the sticking points for 100 PG. Time and time again, every time they try to challenge a little bit more on mid, they get shut down. There's a mousetrap in the hands of Denislaw that will always catch them, and Denislaw missing that shot does mean that they've given up a massive opportunity.
I love the double up setup on the T side as well. That is something you don't really see very often.
Yeah, but they're making it work. They're very happy about it, and I want to see what kind of action Duplicate gets here because they're about to peek right out. Don't think
Yeah, he's
they'll be
expecting the angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those angles you sort of would expect an AWP to hold, but even though there's two AWPs at play, they're all up and aggressive ships. He loves going for these situations. They've snuck themselves onto the B side, waiting for the bomb to make its way towards it. Molly, ships is taken down low. Winter exchanging fire, but I think Skade come up ahead. 33 seconds remaining, and the smoke will be set again.
Oxygen
4
is the man
versus
to watch.
5.
If he takes away Sorrow, this should be it. Now they have an additional threat to worry about looming around the corner. Smiley, he wants to peek over the door, but Denislaw's too fast. He ends up getting him regardless. And now Bro struggling to get back into the battle, and in a snap, Skade, they've come up ahead.
And that is map number 1, gone into the favor of Skade, but it's Ancient to come up next, ladies and gentlemen, to see how this endeavor ensues.